Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have already discussed about that things with you, that Vue.js condition, how can add that if-else condition, if condition. So now in this video, I want to discuss about that loop. In Laravel, you already know about it. So in Laravel, we'll use some of the loop as a for each loop. Okay, so now in Vue.js, how can you use that loop? I will show you that things with a live example. For doing this better, I want to create our new project. So here I define as a click on the save as, and I just name it our class. Okay, I just name it class 10. Sorry, I just simply define that class 10.html. I just save it. So now that is our class 9. So better I just copy all the things from here. And now in our class 10, I just simply paste it. Okay, so there is a method. So right now we don't need this. I just remove all. And there is our data. Also remove that. Okay, so I only want to take one. So I just remove it. And then that is our Kazi. So right now I just simply remove all the things from here. So that will be our loop. So I just simply define as a Vue.js loop. So now if you click on the save all, and now here our project as a class 10. So I just simply open it. So here I just remove it. Perfect. So now if you want to run any loop, I show you, like here I define our property. So I just define the property name as, first of all, here I want to define some of the array value. So I just name it as a names. Okay, I just name it as a names, and in particular that position I want to define some of the array value. So I just simply define that array, and here I define some of the name as a like Kazi. Okay, and also after that I want to take another one. I just take another one. Better I just copy it. Okay, I just copy it because here I want to take some of the name. Like I just name it as a Kazi and then Aryan. And then I take another one as a Jack. And then I just define as a Raju. So I just simply define as a Raju. And then I just define as a John. Okay, I just simply define as a Chong. And then I also define as a Udemy. And then I just define as a Rashid. Okay, I just simply define as a Rashid. So here I just take one of our property as a names property. Into the names property, I define some of the array, and here I define some of the array value as a Kazi, Aryan, Jack, Raju, John, Udemy, and the Rashid. Perfect. So now I want to display it. Okay, so if you want to display it, like here I want to take one of the OL. Okay, so I just simply define as the OL, and into this OL here I define as a li. So into this li I want to actually run this loop. So in Laravel, what exactly we did? In Laravel we did, like, first of all I just define as a for each, right? Into the for each, whatever the method you pass that things from your controller. First of all here I define that this variable name. So here I define the variable as a product, right? And then as a row. So this type of loop, we just define that things in our Laravel, right? So now if you want to use that loop, it's a little bit different. Like here, first of all, you have to define with our detector as a V For. So here I define as a for each. So that is a V For. And into the V For here, you have to define first of all that singular and then our plural. Okay, I show you. First of all, like here I define that name as a name. So first of all here you have to define your this variable with the name as a singular. So I just define the singular as a name. So whatever you want. Right now if you use that fruit, then you have to define that as a fruits. Okay, so now first of all it should be as a singular as a name in names, because names will be as a plural. So I just simply define that name as a names. I hope you can well understand about it. So just take that part. Okay, so just take that note. First of all, if you want to use any loop, that means the for each loop. In the for each loop, first of all you have to define your singular in and then the plural. Okay, so in Laravel we used that like that way, but in Vue.js a little bit different. So here you have to define the singular in the plural, and into the plural area I want to print it. So I want to print, I just take all the things with our property, that means the name property. I just simply define that name property. So now here if you put as a name property, then it's not should be visible. Here you have to define that single property, that means a singular. So here I just define as a singular property as a name. Okay, in Laravel we use it as a products as row. So all the time we use that row. But in Vue.js, first of all, there is a singular and the plural. So first of all, you have to, when you display any data, then you have to display it with this singular property name. So here I just simply define as a singular property name. Now let's check this out. If you click on the save all, and now if you refresh it, like I just refresh it, yes, you can see now every data is perfectly visible. I hope you can well understand about it. As I told you, in Laravel we define that like that different way. In Laravel we define as a @for each, and into the for each, whatever the things you will get from your controller. So here you have to define that variable name. So like as a product variable, right? Into the product variable, I just define as row. So then all the time with this row, we display all that our field value, right? But in Vue.js, it's a little bit different. You can see that is I just defined that property name as a name. So here, first of all, you have to define that things with the singular in the plural. And here, if you want to display it, you have to display it with this singular property name. So here, I just simply display our singular property name. So friend, I think it's very much clear to you right now. And also here, if you want to take another one, like here, I want to take another one, and I just take another property name as a fruits. Okay, I just name it as a fruits, and into the fruit here, I want to define that multiple one of the value array. So here I define that value. Better here, I just simply define that value. Like here, I just define the value. First of all, I just take that things with the name. Okay, into the name, I want to define some of the value for this one, and then also I want to take another one. Better, I just copy it. Okay, I just copy it. I just simply take 3 for this one. Like I just take another one as a color, and then I just take another one as a white. That means a weight. Okay, I just simply define as a weight, and now like that is our name. I just for this one I just name as a mango. Okay, and then for the color, I just define the color as a yellow, and then weight, and for the weight, I just simply define as a 12, okay, or 200. So here, if you want to show the value, then you don't need to single quote. Okay, so here I just simply define that way, and now I want to take another one. So here you have to define that comma. So here I want to take 3. So that is actually the comma. Perfect. So now I want to define that another name. I want to take another name as a orange. Okay, I just define as a orange, and orange color I define as a orange, and then weight I just simply define that weight as a 40, and then I want to take another one as a banana. Okay, and the banana color I just simply define as a yellow, and also weight for this banana I just define as a 70. So this type of one of the array I just take that things on here. Okay, so now if you want to run this loop, that means that is actually our fruits. So here better into the div area, that means we have to do our all that work in our div area, right? Because that is actually a single application. So now I want to take another UL, and then I just define our li, and into the li I just simply define as a V For. So I just simply define that V For. Now what exactly we have to do here, I define that name as a fruits, right? So we have to first of all define that things with the single, that means the singular. So I just simply define the singular as a fruit. Okay, I just simply define that fruit in fruits, right? So I just simply define as a fruits. So I just simply define that fruit. So I hope it's very much clear to you. First of all, that is our singular as a fruit in the fruits. So I just simply define our plural as a fruits. So now here, if you want to display it, so here you have to display it. So now I just simply display our singular, that means this fruit. So I just simply define our singular property. Perfect. So now if you click on the save all, like I just click on the save all, and now here if you refresh it, now you can see it's now showing all that total data value. Okay, so it's now showing all the total value, but here I want to display that things not like that way. Here I want to display it a little bit different. I want to display that name specific, and I also want to display that color and the weight. So if you want to display that things, you can do that work like here. Okay, like here, that is our, I just take all the data with this fruit, I just define that as a fruits. So here I display that property as a fruit. So with this fruit, now we can actually access that name, the color and the weight. Okay, so now I want to do that work with this fruit. I want to display our name. So I just simply define our object as a name object, and also I want to display our another one. So better I just copy it, and here I just simply paste it, and also that is for the weight I have to define, so I just simply define. So that is our fruit. With this fruit I want to display our color, and also I want to display that weight, so I just simply define that weight. Okay, so now if you click on the save all, and now if you refresh it, yes, now you can see it's now perfectly display all that our mango, that is our yellow color, and that is our all that weight value. So friend, I think it's very much clear to you how can use that for each loop. Okay, so that is our all that for each loop, how can display it. So we will use it in our project, so then it's will be very much interactive, how can actually get all the data from your database table, and when it will be display your data into the any page, then we have to use it with this loop. So step by step I will show you, don't worry, everything will be very much clear to you. In our next video, I will discuss about one of the most interactive things in VueJS, that is VueJS CLI. So how can working with the Vue CLI? In our next video, I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.